Chapter 5 of Shadows, the Horror Movie Heroes by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds, Not Coming Down on AO3. Read for you by Teddy BB Bear. This fic is based on the original work My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. Hitoshi crossed yet another company off their list as Izuku dialed the next number. I think it's time we start looking into some plan Bs. Yeah, Izuku sighed as the phone rang on speaker. I was hoping this would work out, but it's looking like it's not going to. The phone stopped ringing and Izuku scrambled as a voice answered on the other end. Hello, you've reached the Help Us Company, HUCK for short. How can I help you today? Yes, hello, Izuku said brightly. Your company provides civilians for hero training exercises, right? Yes, that would be correct, the receptionist replied. That's actually the entire point of our company. And do you ever provide other services? Shinso asked. Like villains for things like that? Not normally, the receptionist hummed. The Hero Commission normally prefers to have heroes fill those roles when possible. May I know why you're asking? You seem a little young to be hiring our services. Yeah, a little, Izuku grimaced. We're looking more along the lines of employment opportunities. We're going to be trying for hero schools this next year, Shinso clarified, so we were hoping to volunteer as villains and get some actual combat experience. That would give you an edge, the receptionist said. But unfortunately, like I said, we don't really provide that service. And even if I did, we have an age limit of at least 16 for our employees. Actually, there's a possibility. Is it alright if I put you on hold real quick? Yeah, sure. Izuku frowned and turned to Shinso as jazzy hold music filled the room. Well, that's promising. Shinso shrugged, more than the other places that just politely laughed in our faces. Izuku nodded in agreement and was about to say something else when the hold music suddenly cut out. All right, are you still there? Yeah, we are, Shinso said. What do you have for us? Well, it's not a guarantee, but our company has been contracted to be the civilians for an upcoming training exercise, and I believe they are looking for villains as well, the receptionist said. However, they might also have an age requirement, just like we do. That's... Izuku hurried and reached for the notebook that Shinso was practically shoving into his hands. That's better than nothing. Do you know where we can find out more? I can give you a link. The receptionist giggled. I'm glad to see you two are taking the initiative. That will be really helpful when you're heroes. Izuku's jaw dropped as he looked at Shinso, who he could tell was having the exact same thought process. When they were heroes, not if. They were going to be heroes. After a moment too long, he shook his head. Yes, please, thank you so much. Seriously, this is your own damn fault, All Might, Recovery Girl complained. Cornering a young lady like that? Honestly, I almost wish she'd done more than just blind you, because maybe then you would actually learn your lesson. Kyoka sat awkwardly on the examination bed in the UA nurse's office, twisting her earphones between her fingers as Yagi, no, All Might, stood at the eye wash station getting chewed out by the oldest hero Kyoka had ever seen. Yep, this was an adventure, all right. I still feel bad, Kyoka fretted. I shouldn't have. Oh no, dearie. It isn't your fault that Yagi killed all his brain cells years ago, Recovery Girl assured her. You have absolutely nothing to be sorry for. All Might here was acting like a creep, and you responded accordingly. As far as I'm concerned, you were more of a hero in this situation than he was. Do I make myself clear? Kyoka blinked in shock for a moment, then found herself smiling. Yes, ma'am. It's not my fault that All Might's an idiot. All Might sputtered as Recovery Girl laughed proudly. Oh, I like this one. You chose yourself a good successor, All Might. I'm almost tempted to say you might actually have some sense. Kyoka frowned. What did she mean by successor? And earlier, right after she'd sprayed him, All Might had said she was strong enough for his quirk, whatever that meant. At the time, Kyoka had been a little too preoccupied with not accidentally killing the #1 hero to worry too much about it. But even after things had calmed down a little bit, Kyoka was used to overhearing things that she wasn't supposed to. Overhearing people's secrets was the worst part about having a hearing quirk. But it was something she'd had to get used to, so Jiro had just filed All Might's weird comment away as one of those mysteries she would never have an answer to. Usually, however, those mysteries had nothing to do with her. And keeping a secret about her from her was decidedly less okay. What are you talking about? I'm not All Might's successor. He just offered some training sessions to help me get ahead before UA. Or at least, that's what he told me. Recovery Girl shook her head and hit All Might's knees with her cane. You didn't tell her? Of all the harebrained, idiotic... I was getting around to it, All Might insisted. If you hadn't noticed, our original meeting was interrupted. Jiro put her foot down. What are you two talking about? If you're just going to argue and not actually tell me, then I'm leaving. I'm not going to waste my time sticking around with people who aren't even willing to be honest with me. Recovery Girl glared at All Might, who looked as contrite as he could with his eyes still somewhat swollen from the pepper spray. We are referring to my quirk, young Jiro. It is called One for All, and I would like you to inherit it. Hitoshi stared at the screen, his jaw on the floor as he recognized the logo. I think the Huck receptionist forgot to mention that this was an exercise for UA. No, this is even better, Midoriya nodded, like he was trying to reassure himself. This way, we can show our skills and abilities even before the entrance exam, and make a more memorable first impression. We just need to be such good villains that they realize they need us on their side. This'll work. This'll work. Hitoshi raised one eyebrow skeptically. You're basically planning on scaring UA into thinking we'll become villains if we don't become heroes? Well, Midoriya smiled sheepishly, we are trying to incite fear. Is there an age limit? Hitoshi leaned over to read some of the text. There's no point in getting our hopes up and planning on this thing if they won't even let us participate. Midoriya quickly scrolled through the page, muttering unintelligibly to himself for a minute as he read the rules. No, actually, there's a section for minors. We'll need to have our parents sign a waiver, just in case we get injured or something, so that'll be a challenge. But it's reasonable, and they just say minor, not a specific age, so we can definitely apply. Hitoshi smiled. Okay, that sounds good. What do we need to apply? We need to send in basically a fake police file, Midoriya said. All the information the police would have on us if we were real villains. Hitoshi's face fell, like our quirks. Midoriya got a calculating look on his face. Not necessarily. Say we train enough that I can hack into the cameras and erase footage of us, and you can make people forget you ever brainwashed them. Then we can argue that the police would reasonably remain ignorant of our quirks, and, well, even our faces and identities, if we're careful enough. We can give them just enough information to give us the advantage, all while studying the sports festival to make sure we know what quirks and personalities we're up against. Do you really think they'll allow that? Hitoshi asked skeptically. Midoriya shrugged. No, but I'm not sure they'll allow us to be heroes either, and we're doing it anyway. Touché, Hitoshi rolled his eyes. We're gonna be heroes. Midoriya nodded. Villains first, but yeah, we're gonna be heroes. Hello, my bumblebees. It's Teddy BB Bear here, and that wraps up Chapter 5 of Shadows, the Horror Movie Heroes. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful story by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds, Not Coming Down. This podfic is brought to you as a Project Cyclone production. More info about other projects we've worked on in the description, as well as links to our website and Instagram. If you want to support Project Cyclone and all our future productions, please consider joining our Patreon or sharing our content through word of mouth. We really appreciate your support. It makes it possible for me and my friends behind the scenes to keep making content for you guys. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you may be listening to us. Sweet dreams and a restful hibernation to you all. Bye-bye.